following is a presentation of K-Star 49 Sports, the home of the home teams.
Live from the Fort Worth Convention Center in Fort Worth, Texas, it's Western Professional Hockey League action. Tonight, the Fort Worth Brahmas and the Bossier Shreveport Mudbugs. Tonight's Fort Worth Brahmas hockey game on K-Star Channel 49 is brought to you by Chevrolet, the official car and truck of the Fort Worth Brahmas, and by Train Heating and Air Conditioning. It's hard to stop a train. And by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers. And by Coors Light, the official beer of the Fort Worth Brahmas. Good evening, everybody, and as mentioned, welcome to Fort Worth, the third and final broadcast this year of Brahmas hockey on K-Star. With me is the host of Bad Radio from the Ticket, Bob Sturm, longtime hockey fan. Welcome to the broadcast. We should have fun tonight.
Yeah, we should, Mike. You never know what to expect when the Brahmas take the ice. It should be intense. It should be hard-hitting, and we're going to talk about it. They got the numbers stacked against them tonight, Mike, so it should be a lot of fun.
Well, let's take a look at the standings in the Western Professional Hockey League. And first in the Eastern Division, and the Brahmas, they've had a tough year. Fort Worth looking for their 18th victory tonight, and they are looking ahead of them in the WPHL. And their opponents tonight, the Shreveport Mudbugs, they've won the championship in the WPHL for 2 consecutive years, 37 victories on this season.
Yeah, Shreveport plays a quality style of hockey which starts from the back up. They don't allow a lot of goals. They've got the best penalty kill in the entire league, and they're a tough team to light the lamp against, Mike.
Well, one of the keys for Fort Worth tonight is going to be Justin Cardwell. He ranked 7th in scoring this year for Fort Worth. We'll take a look at Justin, and the Brahmas need him tonight because only 10 skaters for the Brahmas this evening.
Yeah, ice time will not be a problem for any of these guys, but Justin's a guy who can put the puck in the net. His scoring is second to none on this team, and he's quite a player, and he's going to have a big night. A lot of guys are going to have to have a big night for the Brahmas to do well.
And the Brahmas are going to have to stop Dale Henry, one of many Shreveport players that have had success. Dale Henry, noteworthy. He played 6 years in the NHL with the New York Islanders, 20 years as a pro. He's still skating in the WPHL.
Yeah, a lot of quality on this team, and obviously if you have NHL experience, you are certainly ready for this league, and his statistics indicate that he's having a pretty good year.
Well, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight, and in addition to tonight's broadcast, the radio voice of the Fort Worth Brahmas, Charlie Hodges at ice level.
Hey guys, the last 2 times these teams played, they were barn burners. The last game on January 13th, 154 penalty minutes, 86 against the Brahmas, and 8 game misconducts. May have the same thing coming up tonight if we're not careful. Let's go back upstairs to Mike and Bob.
Bob will have fun tonight. Brahmas and the Mudbugs in just a moment. We'll have the play-by-play, Brahmas and Shreveport on K-Star.
When the party is hot, look for the silver shine of a frost-brewed Coors Light.
What's in the bag, Howie?
Just some cool new stuff I got at Radio Shack. I love the changes they're making.
And you ought to know about change. You went from being a great football player to a great football commentator.
The stuff in the bag is mine, Terry.
Oh, and you know, even with all the new brands at Radio Shack, there's still the same people good at answering questions and explaining things.
Yeah.
And even though you made the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
you're still the same you.
Stuff in the bag is still mine, Terry.
Radio Shack. You've got questions. We've got answers.
Well, I've decided. Tonight's the night I'm gonna pop the question.
So did you get the ring yet?
No, I had a better idea. I wanted to get her something that says, I'm really in this for the long haul. It's a train. What? I'm making a commitment here.
I see cones. They're closing!
Hand over the cone, sir!
Nice and easy now. Let's have it. Look, there's a lot of people in line here who need to do their banking.
Yeah.
Hey,
okay, buddy. They're just normal people like you who just don't get out of work in time to get to the bank. So, come on. Their kids could go hungry, you know? Look, Regis! Ooh. Okay, people, there's nothing for you here. Let's move in an orderly fashion to the Bank United inside Kroger. They're open late, they're nice, and you won't feel like this.
They haven't seen it yet. They're bound to say something.
You know them. Never at a loss for words.
The Chevy Silverado two-wheel drive half-ton regular cab V6 has more standard torque than a comparable Ford F-150 or Dodge Ram 1500. Silverado, the truck from Chevy.
Act like they've never seen a truck before.
The GMAC Smart Buy on a 2001 Silverado. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details.
Mike Barack and Bob Sturm from the Ticket here in Fort Worth, Texas. Glad you joined us. We played a minute 55 into the first period. No score between Fort Worth and the Bossier Shreveport Mudbugs. Let's take a look at our goaltenders here in Fort Worth tonight. There's the Brahmas and the Mudbugs taking place. And here is a look at Jason Carey. He's 27 years of age from Winnipeg, Manitoba. 33 games, 14, 15, and 1 of 4.41 goals against. His opponent tonight, Chad Lang. He's 26 years of age from Keswick, Ontario. 28 games, 15, 10, and 2, a 2.73 goals against average. Just about ready for action here. And Bob, really the storyline, Brahmas have only 10 skaters tonight.
Yeah, personnel is going to be the big issue tonight for the Fort Worth Brahmas. Just 10 skaters healthy, which means, like I said in the open, ice time will not be an issue here. And it'll be interesting to see if the Brahmas can get a win. They got a win last night, a hard-fought W last night, 5-4. But this is against a very high-quality hockey team in Shreveport, and it's going to take everything the Brahmas have to pull a W tonight.
Okay, ready for the face-off to the right of the goal. Glad you joined us. And the Brahmas taking on a Shreveport team that has won the championship in the WPHL 2 consecutive years. They changed their name this year to Bossier Shreveport Mudbugs because of a new arena, and we'll talk about that as the night progresses. For the Brahmas, again, 10 skaters, and we'll see what takes place here this evening. And one of those 10, Chad Woolard, plays it into the Mudbug zone, and it's offside at the defense. 2:07 gone into the opening frame. No score. Our referee tonight is Chris Brown. Miles Newsom and Bob Watkins are the linesmen. 21-year-old Chad Woolard has been a real find for Todd Lalonde.
Yeah, and you know, in the nets, as you mentioned, for Shreveport, of course, Chad Lang. Now, Chad is part of a goaltending tandem that is just unbelievable for Shreveport. That's why they have such a high quality in terms of defense. They never allow goals, and Chad was in nets when they came to Fort Worth back in October, and Shreveport had a 2-1 win.
Brahmas have not beaten the Mudbugs this year. They're 0-3 as the Shreveport team clear it down. Icing is the call. So a slow start to this game, and the newcomer Rusk on defense for Fort Worth. Defenseman Mike Rusk, formerly of the Odessa Jackalopes. Tonight is 17th game on defense. The Brahmas playing with only 4 backliners, a total of 6 forwards, 2 lines, and 4D.
Yeah, Mike, the issue there, of course, is to keep the shift short. Realize that you're going to be out there all night, so try to do it in situations where you don't burn yourself out by the middle or near the end of the period. You don't want to be stuck out here and give up goals because of fatigue.
One thing about the WPHL, with 16 skaters normally and 2 goaltenders, players get a chance to play. But tonight, 6 scratches for Fort Worth. So that these guys will not be hurting for ice time.
They'll sleep well tonight.
Here are the Mudbugs trying to clear it free. They are in the white uniforms. The Brahmas in the dark uniforms as they switch up second half of the season. They clear it in offside. With 2:39 gone into the opening period, no score between Fort Worth and, again, the Bossier Shreveport Mudbugs. A look at one of their key players, Dan Wildfong.
Yeah.
Face-off will be outside the blue line.
What a nice player he is. His statistics very nice in terms of 58 points this season, but also a plus 38 and 179 penalty minutes. That's the skill plus toughness that you like to see in a hockey player.
Last year he had 20 goals, 126 minutes in penalties, an all-star in this league last season, the WPHL, and a playback to action, Jim Sprott. He's 31 years of age, 10-year pro, takes possession in his own defense, flips it up to center ice, and Wildfong plays it free into the Fort Worth zone. They dump it into the far corner, and Craig Johnson for the Brahmas, able to play it for Steve Dowie in the neutral zone. Poke checked in center, and the Mudbugs take control. 3 minutes gone into the opening frame. No score here in Fort Worth. Glad you joined us here this evening. Mike Barack and Bob Sturm from the ticket. Clearing pass outside the blue line and all the way down icing is the call. And the face-off will come all the way back deep into Fort Worth territory. Circle to the left of Jason Carey. Mark Zacharias for the Fort Worth Brahmas. Again, one of 6 forwards tonight for Fort Worth. A goal and 4 assists. Joined the team midway through a second stint for Fort Worth this year, and is back for Coach Todd Lalonde. And again, the face-off will be deep, short shifts, and again, these guys will be trying to just clear the zone, get it out. Nothing too fancy here tonight.
Yeah, I know a lot of times teams regret taking the icing, but when you're short personnel, get a whistle if you need to get a whistle, and stop the puck, as opposed to once again being stuck with the puck running around your own end.
Here's a quick shot from Tony Bergen, a defenseman off the backboards and wide. Glad you joined us. As mentioned tonight from Fort Worth, Texas. Hockey in Cowtown, and it looks we have a stoppage of play back into the Fort Worth territory with 3:32 gone into this first frame, and again, no score here in Fort Worth. The Brahmas again, hockey in Cowtown. Great to see it on the west side of the Metroplex.
Yeah, you know, I've never been out to see the Brahmas play in person, but you know, love the sport of hockey, and really at any level, and certainly these guys are out here playing tough and playing with a lot of heart and effort, and it makes it exciting, like you said, on both sides of the Metroplex, to see the great game of hockey flourish.
We're throwing it at you tonight, your first broadcast and your first opportunity to see the Fort Worth Brahmas. Face-off will be into the zone. We took a look earlier at that short bench. I mean, they've got lots of room. You could throw a party in there.
Yeah, you could spread out, kick your feet up. Meanwhile, on the other bench, they're shoulder to shoulder all the way down that Shreveport bench.
Here are the Brahmas taking control. We'll get to those injuries as we go through this first period, and the Mudbugs gain possession at center ice. They clear it into the Fort Worth zone. Drop pass to the near side, and a shot over top of the net by Mike DeGurse into the back of the goal off the curtain. Number 32, DeGurse, a 26-year-old, 6'2", 200. They have some size, some toughness, and some scoring punch on this Shreveport team.
Yeah, they did a real nice job there of causing a turnover at the blue line, and then they moved in quickly and got a scoring opportunity away.
As mentioned, big forward, DeGurse, coming back from an injury and in the lineup tonight for the Shreveport team. Face off to the top of the circle into the Brahmas territory. Brahmas tonight in their 60th game of the year, looking for their 18th win and 11th at home. Here's Craig Johnson, the former Central Texas Stampede, able to clear it down. And again, you'll see a lot of that, Bob, just clearing it deep into the opposing zone. And now Wildfong able to work free into the Fort Worth zone, but Mike Tilson pokes it to center ice. And then Dowie for the Brahmas drops it back for Tilson. Tilson, one of 4 backliners on defense tonight for Fort Worth for Johnson. Lead pass ahead for Zacharias. It's a pinball off the sideboards deep into the Mudbugs territory, and they gain possession back of the goal. And Tony Bergen, 26-year-old out of Cornell University, plays to center ice. Brahmas, Tilson intercepts. 3-man rush. He shoots, and that's an offside. Let the shot go, but one of the Brahmas ahead of the play, Zacharias, ahead of the play, offside at the Shreveport blue line. Face-off will come up outside the line. 15:33 left in the first. We're going to take a break. You're watching the Brahmas on K-Star.
You know what people are saying about you guys? That you're a bunch of vicious animals. Well, you and I know that's not true. You and I know that this is a game of skill and precision and speed and grace. So I want you to go out there tonight and show them what Fort Worth Brahmas hockey is really about. Okay, you can open the cage now.
Fort Worth Brahmas hockey. It's a kick.
I see cones. They're closing. Hand over the cone, sir. Nice and easy now. Let's have it. Look, there's a lot of people in line here who need to do their banking.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, they're just normal people like you who just don't get out of work in time to get to the bank. So, come on. Their kids could go hungry, you know? Look, Regis! Ooh. Okay, people, there's nothing for you here. Let's move in an orderly fashion to the Bank United inside Kroger. They're open late, they're nice, and you won't feel like this.
Back at the convention center with one of the 6 scratchers for the Brahmas tonight, Ross Harris. Ross, what happened?
Last night I caught an edge and I went into the boards funny and just bruised my knee. And unfortunately I couldn't go tonight. It was a game time decision. I came back at 5 o'clock tonight and tried it out, but it was just no good. Unfortunately, we only have 10 players. I would like to help out.
Quickly, how tough is it tonight?
Shreveport's one of the best teams in the league for sure, and they've won it the last 2 years, and unfortunately we were shorthanded. The guys have to pull through it tonight.
Back upstairs to Mike and Bob.
And we're back to action. No score, first period. Would have been very important for the Brahmas to have Harris in the lineup tonight, but the Brahmas will have to make do with their 10.
Yeah, Ross is a nice player, too. You hate to have talent like that out of the lineup.
54 goals last season for Fort Worth. He's tailed off this year, but still a very important cog offensively for the Fort Worth hockey team. Play back of the goal, and Jim Sheehan, who is recently acquired by this team, leaves it for his own defense, and Wildfong gains possession. Second-year pro out of Colgate University, gains possession, leaves it for Sheehan at his own defense, and they play it up the center ice. And the Mudbugs on the attack. Player taken down, no call in front of the referee, Chris Brown, who watched it impassively. Now Derek McKinley along the far boards for Shreveport, dumps it in front. Justin Cardwell for the Brahmas clears. Sprott holds in left point. Back of the goal it goes. Christian LaRiviere tries to make a play. They jam it behind the net. Player taken down and a stoppage of play. And let's see if we will have a penalty. I don't believe so. The net may have been dislodged. Back of the goal.
Yeah, the Brahmas attempting to be tenacious on defense, and there's that fine line between tenacious and taking a penalty. And obviously tonight, that's one thing you don't want to do too much tonight is be shorthanded for sure.
Todd Alon last year, interestingly enough, with the Central Texas Stampede, played 2 games with 9 skaters and won them both. And one of their goaltenders, Jason Carey, who's in goal tonight, was the winning goaltender. So Todd said, no problem.
Wow.
10, I did it with 9 last year.
That's got to be close to the record. I can't imagine you can get your bench much shorter than 9.
They go to talk about double shifts. You can triple or quadruple shift in a game like that.
Well, if you're the only guy on the team, though, that's one long shift.
Yeah, truly. Here's play at the defense, and Tilson gains possession. Drops it back to center ice, and Steve Dowie able to work the center. Headman's for a Wisconsin guy. Jason Payne, we'll talk about that as the night progresses. And Jeff Pollock gains possession for the Mudbugs. Early on, first period, no score. Shreveport won the championship 2 straight years, and they're in second place, having a great year once again. Brahmas take control on left wing, and Zacharias just skies it off the boards into the Shreveport zone. The Mudbugs control.
One thing you're noticing here with the Brahmas, they're trying to keep the forecheck to a minimum. You don't want to tire yourself out early in the game here.
And the play now back into the near corner. Shreveport player losing his stick. Mudbugs control. Here's a centering pass broken up by Johnson. Leads for Zacharias. He just pinballs it off the boards again to center ice.
Yep.
That's what you'll see a lot. A lot of dumping out and trying to gain possession. They do here. Cardwell in, wrist shot, and caught for the goaltender, Chad Lang, on a wrist shot. He elected to go to the wrist shot upstairs. Hey folks, don't forget to visit the Brahmas website at www.brahmas.com for the latest in Brahmas information. That's Brahmas.com, the official website of the Brahmas. You can order tickets, you can order merchandise, and read about your favorite Fort Worth hockey team. www.brahmas.com on the net, and we'll have a link with the ticket this week with pictures from our game tonight. And Justin Cardwell moving in.
Right, what a talent he is. He's putting points up for this team on a regular basis. Wears that captaincy, and there with a pretty good shot on goal, but the goaltender is equal to the task.
Little wrist shot made making the save Lang. Not having a lot of action so far. Sometimes you can surprise a goaltender and they work it in offside, but not a lot of action on his side. So, he's not really into the game and might not be if there's not a lot of shots on goal.
Yeah, and that's, you talk to goaltenders, they say that's some of the most difficult type of play. When you're not seeing the rubber, you can't get in the rhythm of the game because you don't see the puck enough, and it's tough to stay sharp.
Face-off will be outside the blue line to the right of Jason Carey. Fort Worth, again, 10 victories at home. They've played hockey here in Fort Worth since the early 1940s. They've played here in this building since the late 60s, early 70s, when the convention center was built, and a clearing pass up into the Shreveport players bench. And again, the Shreveport bench is full. And look at that Brahmas bench. If we move that camera back, perhaps, Look how open that is.
Looked like one team forgot to bring their players today, but the Browns just injuries have caught up with them, and it's tough, but you got to play through it. The other team is not going to feel sorry for you, Mike.
Out tonight, Hungle with an elbow, Harney with a hip pointer, Cabana reassigned by the Vancouver Canucks, Ross Harris with a knee, and Ryan Shannon, a defenseman, out with a knee. So they've all gone down here late in the season and here for this evening's contest. Mudbugs gain possession. They clear it to center ice, and Wild Fong from Clayton, Ontario, plays to the blue line. And now White back to center ice, and Wild Fong gains possession. Brahmas send 3 men at the line, and the Mudbugs have no other choice but to clear it in. Cleared by Fort Worth up the right wing side, and Cardwell gains possession. Headman to center ice, Woolard in across the line, plays it on the left wing boards for Gorwitz, centers. Ooh, and Woolard just ends up crashing into the end boards on a neat passing opportunity. The net was dislodged, and a great scoring chance for Fort Worth. Look at the snow there.
Yeah, beautiful tic-tac-toe play right here at the blue line, making the nice pass and then going hard to the net to attempt to get the puck back. Just does not connect, and boy, you can't afford any more injuries there, but Chad Woolard with a nice give-and-go play and did exactly what you got to do, which is skate hard to that opposite post.
Chad Woolard for the Brahmas, a 21-year-old. He's the youngest player on Fort Worth, first Joe Pro out of Sault Ste. Marie and Owen Sound of the Ontario Hockey League. And Todd Lalonde is just high on Woolard. He's got size and speed, and that's always a commodity.
Yeah, and then odd man rushes are going to be the way to score tonight for the Brahmas. You can see kind of playing a penalty kill almost on defense to try to conserve energy again. That'll be the theme tonight.
Bob Sturm alongside Mike Barrack. Hope you're enjoying the action here from Fort Worth as they try and work it free. A centering pass for the longtime veteran, 20 years, pro Dale Henry. Shot from the point, deflected, and I believe Carey got a piece, and here come the Brahmas back the other way. Headman pass, Zacharias, right side Payne. He's ahead of the playoff side, but earlier a great scoring opportunity for the Mudbugs, and somehow that puck stayed out of the goal here in opening period number 1.
Yeah, the Mudbugs, nice job getting some traffic in front of the net, and a couple of situations there were a little bit different bounce of the puck, and it's 1-0 Shreveport, but Carey and or the post kept the puck out that time. Whatever the case is, we're still scoreless here about midway through.
And the face-off will be at the blue line in this scoreless game. 11:34 left, first frame, and as mentioned, no scoring here at the Fort Worth Convention Center. There's some delay on the ice here, I believe, some confusion, and we're going to take a look at this in just a moment, but I guess we're going to go to a break.
All right.
No score. First period. Brahmas and the Mudbugs on K-Star.
The sleek 200 horsepower Chevy Monte Carlo SS. Green. The side you show the world is up to you.
Whoa, Mom!
The scar's from falling off my first two-wheeler.
Does it still hurt?
No.
Will I get a scar?
I hope not.
There's another good reason to use Neosporin. It not only kills more strains of infectious bacteria, a clinical test shows that treating scrapes with Neosporin helps minimize the appearance of scars.
Mommy!
Prevent infection, help minimize the appearance of scars. Use Neosporin every cut, every time.
Mike Barrack and Bob Sturm from the Convention Center. Glad you've joined us. No score, first period. Brahmas and the Mudbugs. And the Shreveport team clear it into the Fort Worth territory, and the Brahmas Rusk gains possession. Hughes into the boards on the near side for Chad Woolard. Woolard for Fort Worth, able to crisscross out of his own end, bangs it off the boards deep into Shreveport territory where the defenseman Sheehan gains possession. Clears to center ice, and the Mudbugs have possession of the puck. Christian LaRiviere, who was on their championship team 2 years ago. Poke check, Brahmas Gorwich. Back with Cardwell. The drop pass for Woolard. In tight. His shot blocked by the defense. Now Woolard gains possession. Centers in front. Gorwich shoots. Save. Rebound Cardwell to Gorwich, and he deflects it wide. Oh, the Brahmas with some opportunities, and the Mudbugs clear but not out. Woolard gains possession. Swings it side of the goal. Gorwich. back to the point. Rusk, his shot deflected, caught by the goaltender Lang. Great bursts of energy for Fort Worth in the offensive zone.
Boy, very nice pressure by that line right there, and we'll take a look at a little bit of that here as they get some of the pressure going. First, the shot there by Gorwich, and then the rebound attempt that goes just wide, and the Brahmas right on the doorstep there. And that's the thing, you know, they're kind of playing a frustrating style to play against tonight, and if they can stay in this game, it could really get interesting here as the game wears on tonight.
Good saves for Chad Lang, an original Dallas Stars pick, 4th round in '93. He's played parts of 5 years in the East Coast Hockey League, never getting an opportunity. But when you look at the Stars netminders, I mean, I guess you can see why.
It's tough to break in with that franchise for sure.
Play to center ice, and Tilson gains possession and clearing it right back in. Lang, 26-year-old, 5 shutouts last season, and has been terrific this year also. Here's play at center ice. Brahmas take control. Tilson for the Brahmas in his 2nd season on defense for Fort Worth. In deep to trying to make a play. Mudbugs take control on the left wing side, and they gain possession for Mark Ruppnow, their leading scorer. Able to play to center ice on the left wing boards. Ruppnow into the Fort Worth zone. Taken out of the play. Johnson for the Brahmas tries to push it along the boards to the near side. It squirts to the top of the circle. Dowie trying to jam it loose. Ruppnow's shot is blocked. It deflects into the corner, and the Mudbugs trying to make a play. Behind the net it goes. Brahmas trying to keep the puck on the perimeter. A delayed penalty coming up against Fort Worth. Wildfang centers deflected, and that's deflected finally by Johnson. And as soon as the Brahmas gain possession, a slashing penalty called against Fort Worth by Chris Brown into the Fort Worth territory.
Yeah, and that's a situation there where the number 1 line for the Mudbugs is out. A couple guys who are amongst the league leaders in scoring get a lot of pressure on and just pretty much play keep away with the puck, cause the Brahmas to take a penalty, and now we can see a power play that surprisingly for one of the better teams in the league, surprisingly not that impressive a power play. Their penalty kill is their specialty team. That's great.
Craig Johnson in the box. He has been a man that is not afraid to drop the gloves. This one just a minor, however, at 11.26 for slashing. And you're right, the Mudbugs rank dead last, 13th in the league, with just a 14.5%. Meanwhile, the Brahmas penalty killing ranked 10th, killing off 80% of the power plays against them this year. Here's play at the point. Chance for the Mudbugs. Carry the save on the blast by Louis Bernard, the former Brahma. Here's Bernard at the left point. Shovels it free to Gilmore. Back of the goal. Mudbugs trying to work it in front on the right wing side. Sprott centers. Gilmore a chance. Carey gets a waffle on that, and a stoppage to play. The net dislodged. Gilmore, who briefly played in Fort Worth a year ago, stopped in front on the doorstep.
Yeah, boy, Carey threw his blocker arm out there and just basically got a shoulder on it. Very nice job of getting across the mouth of the goal to attempt to stop the puck there. And you know, Shreveport's taking a bunch of whacks at it. Carey's just trying to keep centered on the play, and then here he just has to lunge to his right. Here you get another look at it, just gets a piece of it. It would have made it right inside the post for a goal, but Carey was up to the shot that time for sure.
Man, I'll tell you what, he got that waffle on that. He's 200 pounds, a squatty, Yeti-type goaltender for Fort Worth. Here's a shot from the left wing point, deflected wide. Bernard able to play it for Sprott. On the far side, Dale Henry. Henry dumps it to the side of the goal. They try and work it free, and it's off the mark and back into the Shreveport zone.
Yeah, the Mudbugs had the umbrella set up, and the 2 wings on the umbrella both kind of crisscrossed at the net, and it was a nice idea, but no one was home there for it.
Here's Sprott on the 2-man break. Oh, Woolard came back and poked it off his stick beautifully, and it rolled just gingerly towards Carey, and he held on.
Shots 5-3 so far here with the Mudbugs with the margin, with the advantage, excuse me, and minute 4 left on this penalty kill, so they'll switch up personnel here and attempt to kill off the rest of this penalty.
Active fans as they pound on the glass at Jason Carey. They call him the Bear. 14 victories this season, and last 3 years, 65 wins with the Central Texas Stampede and also the El Paso Buzzards. So he's been terrific in goal, not just with the Brahmas, but in the WPHL with both Central Texas and El Paso. Face-off will be circled to the right of the net. Carey also played for Todd Lalonde with the Stampede. And they just tossed out Payne, so Gorwich will take the draw against the forward Rodney Richard for Shreveport. Here's Richard for Wildfont. To the side of the goal, they try and center one, but the Brahmas poke it outside the line.
Yeah, once again, the play is to get it down near the goal line for Shreveport and then have some cutters right in the middle of the ice. That's what they're going to try to do again here.
Here's McPherson across the line, and it's offside with a total of 8:20 left first period. Great penalty killing. Carey's made a great save earlier on the power play, but the Brahmas have done what they've wanted to do.
Yeah, that's what the Brahmas are going to need tonight, is a big night from Carey. Certainly with personnel down, and also they're playing against a team that has handled them pretty well this season. I believe 3 previous meetings. Shreveport's won all 3, so they're going. The Browns will need their goalie to be the difference tonight.
Not only have they won all 3, they've outscored Fort Worth 15-4 in those 3 games, including a 9-2 shellacking in mid-January at the new arena. They call it the CenturyTel Arena in Shreveport. And it's a beautiful 12,500 seat facility.
Wow!
And it's been great. Previously, they played at the Hirsch Coliseum. They moved into a new facility in Bossier, with all the casinos, and it's a beautiful facility. The people love it so far.
Yeah, it doesn't appear that cash is an issue with that franchise necessarily. They have a nice new arena, and we can talk a little bit later about their mode of transportation, which seems awful nice indeed.
Scott Musket is the coach, and there he is barking out to his team, a rookie coach. He played for the Mudbugs, 66 points in 166 games over the last few years. He's taking over for John LaForest, who was the coach the last 2 championships for the Mudbugs, and what a great first year with a total of 37 victories and 77 points. Here's a play across the line. Forbes McPherson into the Fort Worth zone. Hands it free to Bergen. Back to the left wing side. The Mudbugs on the attack. Here's the forward Rutnow circling around on the near board. Surveys the traffic on this power play. Dumps behind the net. They center for Rutnow. Payne pokes it away. However, Shreveport control at the right point. Shot right on. Rebound. Brahmas clear it to the blue line, but not out. Held in by McPherson. For Shreveport, centers in the slot, a chance, blocked to the Brahmas defense again. That's into the penalty. Johnson is back on. Brahmas killed it off. Shreveport failed to score in the power play. Mad scrambled near corner, and the Mudbugs control. No score as they work it for Wildfont. Centers in front. Carey gets a leg on that, and Tilson for the Brahmas turns and shoots it to the opposite wing, but not out. LaRiviere keeps it in. Brahmas desperately and feverishly trying to clear the zone, and finally saw it knocked out to center ice and a stoppage of play into the neutral zone. No score, first period. We'll take a break. You're watching Brahmas hockey on K-Star.
Well, I decided. Tonight's the night I'm going to pop the question.
So did you get the ring yet?
No, I had a better idea. I wanted to get her something that says, I'm really in this for the long haul. Train. What? I'm making a commitment here.
They haven't seen it yet. They're bound to say something.
You know them. Never at a loss for words.
The Chevy Silverado 2-wheel drive half-ton regular cab V6 has more standard torque than a comparable Ford F-150 or Dodge Ram 1500. Silverado, the truck from Chevy.
Act like they've never seen a truck before.
The GMAC Smart Buy on a 2001 Silverado. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details.
We are at the Fort Worth Convention Center. No score, first period, but Brahmas will gain a power play. For ticket information for the Brahmas down the stretch here, 817-336 for ICER. Stop by any Albertsons or Star Tickets. Location 888-597-STAR. Brahmas now on the power play. The penalty, bench minor, too many men on the ice, and the penalty at 12:55. So the Brahmas ranked 10th in the league in the power play with 46 man advantage goals, but the best penalty killing Shreveport in the league.
That's exactly right. They're very good at killing off the penalties, and we will see if the Brahmas can change that tonight.
Here's Cardwell, hands it for Gorwich in this scoreless contest. Gorwich gains possession for Fort Worth, dumps it behind the net for Cardwell, poke check, clear to the left of the goal, and the Mudbugs gain possession. McPherson, headmans to center ice. They poke it into the neutral zone, but Tilson beautifully breaks it up. Left wing for Gorwich, and he slams it behind the goal. This is your opportunity with the man advantage. Brahmas have only 10 skaters tonight. Here's a little bouncer towards the goal. Shreveport trying to clear it, not out. Tilson right point. Left wing side for Russ. In front of the goal. Loose in front, Woolard. A chance, Gorwich, and he shot it over top of the net. Sprott for Shreveport. Turns, stops, and shoots it down the ice.
Boy, and there's a situation there. Gorwich looks like the best offensive player tonight for the Brahmas in terms of he's had a couple chances. That time, right on the goal line, very difficult angle, and just shot it right past the mouth of the goal, and could have easily been a goal if he could have got a little more angle on that.
Here's a shot caught by Carey. He clears it. The Brahmas do down the ice. This actually will be an icing against Fort Worth, and the face-off will come all the way back deep into Fort Worth territory.
And you can see here Shreveport so very confident when they kill penalties that not only can they kill the penalty, but they can also start a breakout, and they almost had a 2-on-1 earlier there on the penalty kill. And we'll take a look at this offensive opportunity, which I believe ends up with the Gorwich opportunity. There he is right in front of the net. He'll go behind the net, come back around, and through traffic, he gets another shot at it and fires it right past the mouth of the goal. Golden opportunity.
And you have, it's well documented, the man crush on Brett Hull. He wouldn't have missed that, would he have?
Well, no, he not very often. Let's put it that way.
Here's a little nubber towards the Shreveport goal. Lang leaves it there and cleared right back down. Gorwich, actually, for Fort Worth's had a strong offensive year. 21 goals, one of two Brahmas to have over 20 goals. Cardwell the other on offense for Fort Worth. Here's Dowie now for the Brahmas. Shook off that pass, drops it back for Big Johnson for the Brahmas, and he just swings it right back into Shreveport territory. Teams at even strength. Mudbugs gain possession. Sprott check. Zacharias in to make a play, but poked off the boards on right wing by Bergen, the defenseman, up the center. Brahmas push it back for Tilson. Right side Zacharias, and he just dumps it right back in. Brahmas change on the fly.
And if there's one thing we've learned so far is that when the Browns have been at equal strength, they've been just fine. The Mudbugs got most of their opportunities on that power play tonight.
Here's the play at the defense. Shreveport gained possession. Up to center ice, the defenseman Pollock out of the Ontario Hockey League clears it right back in. It ringing along the dashers, and the Brahmas just clear it right back out into center ice, and they haven't iced the puck really. They've been able to clear it off the sideboards, and that has allowed them to regroup defensively. Here's play to the near side. Gilmore now able to make a play for Shreveport. Drops it back for his own defense, and the Mudbugs have to go back.
Yeah, if they can keep this up, Shreveport will get frustrated over the course of the night. The Brahmas not very pleasant to play against tonight with their style of play.
Here's McKinley, leaves it back. This is what you would call a traditional road game,
yep,
even though the Brahmas are on home ice. Here's Cardwell, right side Woolard. Here he comes, in on net. He shoots, save, rebound. Oh, and the net is dislodged. Woolard with two beautiful opportunities in the offensive territory and couldn't nail it home.
Boy, Woolard, what an opportunity there. Some very nice speed.
Okay, no score first period on K-Star.
Hey, beer man, one for the groom-to-be?
Bachelor party, eh? Well, this is Frost Brewed Coors Light. Are you ready for that kind of commitment?
Yeah.
Please rise. Come on, stand up. Do you take this can to be your very own? Do you promise to love, honor, and cherish every ounce of this Rocky Mountain refreshment?
I do. Told myself I wasn't gonna cry.
If anyone here has reason why these two should not be joined together, speak now.
Beer man.
Oh, there you go.
What's in the bag, Howie?
Just some cool new stuff I got at Radio Shack. I love the changes they're making.
And you ought to know about change. You went from being a great football player to a great football commentator.
The stuff in the bag is mine, Terry.
Oh, and you know, even with all the new brands at Radio Shack, there's still the same people good at answering questions and explaining things.
Yeah.
And even though you made the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
you're still the same you.
Stuff in the bag is still mine, Terry.
Radio Shack. You've got questions. We've got answers.
Brahmas back in action tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock against the Amarillo Rattlers, and then games on the 16th, 17th, and 18th of March against Austin, Corpus Christi, and Odessa here at the Fort Worth Convention Center. Hope to see you that weekend. Tickets available at all Metroplex Albertsons, or call 888-597-STAR. Brahmas in action here in Fort Worth. There's hockey in Cowtown. Here's play now back into the Shreveport zone. They dump it into center ice. Willard able to leave it for Gorwich. He's crushed at the line. No penalty at all. Good clean check, and the Mudbugs gain possession. Late in period 1, no score. Fort Worth with 10 skaters tonight, 4 defensemen and 6 forwards, and it played just fine, thank you, as the Mudbugs dump it into the Fort Worth zone. Rusk able to pin it off the boards, taken by the forward to Gerst. Brahmas try and play it free. It's back in the net where Willard, who's been everywhere tonight for Fort Worth, just skies it into center ice, and that's deja vu, right? They just dump it into the neutral zone.
Absolutely.
Here's Sprott now, and a rush for Shreveport. A wrist shot, that's blocked for the defense. You know, they talk about the trap in hockey. This is what you would call the prevent defense in a hockey game.
Well, and you do what you got to do to get a win, and that's certainly what the coaching staff of the Browns have been all about this season.
Here's DeGerst, shoots, and that's off the backboards and wide. Mudbugs gain possession again. They try and play it for DeGerst. Turns, spins, shot blocked off by Johnson. And DeGerst dunks it back of the goal. It's cleared to the top of the circle. And a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Johnson, left wing side for Payne. In on goal. Can't sweep it free. He's held up. Johnson dumps it free. Lane gets a leg on that. Hardwell keeps it in. A wrist shot deflected just wide. Dowie at the left point, unable to hold it in, and he leaves it for Tilson. The Brahmas getting some scoring opportunities. Tilson, long shot, caught by Lang. He holds on. And Fort Worth with some good offensive chances. And Lang, the 26-year-old, has played well also as Jason Payne on that earlier rush down the left wing side.
Yeah, I thought there could have been a penalty on that as well. He looked like near the end of that play, he got tackled a little bit, but the referees letting it go tonight.
And only 2 power plays, 1 for the Brahmas and 1 for the Mudbugs. Face-off will be outside the blue line. Mike Barack and Bob Sturm. Yes, Bob, your first hockey broadcast, but I know this is your favorite sport.
Oh, absolutely. You can never get enough hockey. In fact, watching a couple afternoon games in the NHL this afternoon, and then I roll out here to Fort Worth, watch the Brahmas play. Very nice.
Here's play now into the near corner of Fort Worth zone. Brahmas and the Mudbugs. Fort Worth's Dowie tries to play it free, succeeds for Payne into the neutral zone. Zacharias is tied up and he actually carried himself offside. He was trying to maneuver into the offensive zone, and his body movement actually carried him ahead of the play. And a look at Mark Zacharias, 27 years of age, from Miami, Manitoba. And as mentioned earlier, second stint in Fort Worth. He's more of a grinding type player, but you got to have those, you know, on a hockey team.
Yeah, it takes all sorts of styles of play to make a hockey team work, but without those grinders, you have a hard time winning games.
Zacharias is good on the draws and very good sound defensive player for Fort Worth and Todd Lalonde. Here's a clearing pass into the Fort Worth zone, and the defenseman on the play for the Brahmas, Rusk, plays to center. However, big Henry down the left wing side. Dale Henry played with the New York Islanders, and we'll talk about it later on. Assisted on a famous NHL goal. We'll talk about it later. And the Brahmas take over and clear it right back to center ice. And ahead for Dowie, unable to control. It's cleared into center ice. And the Brahmas drop it back free and cleared by Rusk into the Shreveport territory.
1 minute.
So they were trying to spring Dowie there with the long pass, and that's, again, kind of what the Browns are doing tonight, short on skaters. So you have one guy kind of looking for the touchdown pass, and the other 4 playing it conservative.
This is exactly what Todd Lalonde wants this evening. The Brahmas are playing textbook defense, and the face-off will come all the way back. Now, if you're the Mudbugs, as I look at Todd Lalonde, and he's been great, as mentioned, Central Texas and the Waco Wizards. He's happy to be in Fort Worth. A solid situation here. And again, a look at his opponent, the coach Scott Muscat. But he's got to be shaking his head right now.
Yeah, and I guess if you're Shreveport, you just say, all right, let's stay after it. We have the numbers throughout this game. We'll eventually wear the Brahmas down if we keep the pressure on. That's got to be what they're thinking.
But the Brahmas have done a nice job, where they're in their own end, just clear the puck out, not allowing the Mudbugs to create any opportunity. They have some tough guys, but tonight's, of course, a strategy to stay out of the box, so they can't use that part of their game.
No, you don't want to drop the mitts too often tonight, or you'll be down to 4 or 5 skaters.
Right. Here's DeGerst now at the blue line, able to play it free on the right wing side. They dump it into Fort Worth territory. It swings back of the goal. Johnson on his feet leads for Tilson. Tilson swivels out of his own end and dumps it out of the zone. Willard now for Fort Worth has great long strides. Moves in. Wrist shot off the backboards. Hardwell trying to make a play. Here's the Minnesota native, Cardwell, tied up in the play. Brahmas trying to make it loose into the offensive zone, but finally they clear it right back. 10 seconds to go in the period. Back at his own end is Louis Bernard. Long slap shot, he scores! Unbelievable! 3 seconds to go in the period. Carey can't believe it. The former Brahma shot it from outside center.
Holy doodle. Boy, that's a throwaway play right there, Mike. He just was basically trying to run the time off the scoreboard, but he thought he'd put it on net to just make sure Carey's paying attention. Might have hit something in the ice there. Just skips between the legs, and boy, Carey a little bit angry at himself for allowing that one. Yeah, he hate to allow a bad goal at the end of a period.
That was a knuckler all the way. Bernard scores the goal. He, of course, played for the Brahmas earlier this season. Played in the East Coast Hockey League, and 7th goal this season at 19:57. That's unassisted. A killer late in period number 1.
Of course, goes back to the philosophy, though. Always put the puck on the net. You never know what might happen.
And that's the story with a 1-0 game here at the end of 20 minutes of play. A disheartened Brahmas team, and of course the Mudbugs. That gives them some life here at the end of the first period. In just a moment, we're going to go down to the Todd Lalonde, and again, he's got to be pleased overall the way the Brahmas played in period number 1.
Yeah, exactly where they wanted to be, save the final 3 seconds of the period.
And the Brahmas in the opening frame, I believe, outshot 11-6, but again, not bad as this period has gone along. Fort Worth, as mentioned, looking for their victory as the Brahmas head towards the dressing room here at the Fort Worth Convention Center, and Todd Lalonde is walking down, and we'll have talk with Todd in just a moment. Again, shaking his head about that last goal.
Well, I'm sure the entire team is shaking their head right now, but they'll have to rebound. They got 40 minutes of hockey to play, Mike. No reason to panic yet.
Okay, in just a moment, we're going to go down to Charlie Hodges and Todd Lalonde, and here we go.
Okay, Todd, the goal, last 3 seconds, that was a backbreaker. You guys played great in the first except for that.
Yeah, I really thought we kind of stuck to our game plan. We wanted to make sure that we really limited their offensive opportunities to few, tried to keep the puck to the outside perimeter of the building and really make them make a big play in order to beat us, and kind of bit us in the backside a little bit. We were hoping for a turnover maybe with a minute left, and we could jump on them, maybe explode a little bit, but that happens, a bit of a knuckleball, and we got to score more than 1 to win anyway, so let's get back at them.
Okay, thank you very much, Todd. Let's go back upstairs to Mike and Bob.
And that's the story. Bob has mentioned good first period, 1 goal, not too bad for the Brahmas.
Yeah, they had some really good offensive opportunities, and they'll get back at it in the second period here.
Okay, 1-0 Mudbugs after 1. We'll have more in just a moment on K-Star.
Well, I decided. Tonight's the night I'm going to pop the question.
So did you get the ring yet?
No, I had a better idea. I wanted to get her something that says, I'm really in this for the long haul. It's a train. What? I'm making a commitment here.
The sleek 200 horsepower Chevy Monte Carlo SS. Green. The side you show the world is up to you.
You know what people are saying about you guys? That you're a bunch of vicious animals. Well, you and I know that's not true. You and I know that this is a game of skill and precision and speed and grace. So I want you to go out there tonight and show them what Fort Worth Brahmas hockey is really about. Okay, you can open the cage now.
Fort Worth Brahmas hockey. It's a kick.
Reverend Dial Tone here for 1-800-4-PHONE, the good word in prepaid phone service. Today we're here to turn this sinner into a saint. You've been using ComSouth. You paid too much for phone service. You haven't called 1-800-4-PHONE. Well, then be healed, my brother, because with 1-800-4-PHONE, you get 2 hours of free long distance each month, and there's no charge for switching. Hey. You're not done yet. So call 1-800-4-PHONE today. It ain't heaven, but it's close.
Last night, the Fort Worth Brahmas defeated the Corpus Christi Ice Rays despite being massively outshot. A big reason for that was our guest. He was the third star of the game last night, saved 33 shots, and a pretty big win over a team that had a lot to play for. How did you guys put it together last night?
I don't know. I think we just came out hard, and we just wanted to get a win. It didn't really matter that too much for us in the standings, but they've beaten us the last few games. We've played them, and they've taken it to us. They found a way to win almost every time we played them. So we said, hey, we got to finally try to beat this team. They're going to come out hard because they needed the 2 points for their playoff race, and we just played hard and stuck it out.
Rob Laurie, you're a veteran on a team that has a lot of youngsters. A goalie is not going to be a captain, but how can a goalie be a leader? Have you found that to be something you've needed to assume this year?
I think we have a few older guys on our team that kind of help the younger guys, but I can help in some ways. Obviously, I'm not going to be the captain. I'm not going to be the guy chasing the referee down in between him bad calls and let Justin take care of that. But I think I can just, in times when games are getting tough, and I know I've been there. I've been on teams that have come back from games before, and and I just try to help the younger guys. And at certain times of when we got to just work a little harder and or maybe a little smarter, or when guys shouldn't worry about things that they're worrying about, things like that. I think I can. I've gone through it and seen what happens on the next day when everything can turn around. So I just try to portray that to the younger guys.
When you have younger guys, especially on defense, and they make a mistake, it's going to end up in your lap. How do you prepare for that, knowing that on a given night there's going to be some giveaways and some things like that?
You just you just deal with it. I think if hopefully I can make the save, and if I can't, and that's the way it goes. I'm pretty much not one of the guys that'll give my defensemen dirty looks or yell at them or things like that. I think they're pretty smart enough to know that when they make mistakes, and I think they actually want to try harder for you if you lay off them and just let them play their game, and they'll usually come back to me and tell me that they apologize, they made a mistake, or they should have had this guy, but you just let them play, and I think that's the best thing. I know I've seen guys, I've played with goalies that'll harp against their guys, and they come to me and say, what's he yelling at me about? That second goal he let in was a joke, and next thing that no one's playing hard for the guy. So I think I got a pretty good relationship. I think we have some young defensemen that have a lot of potential in them. As long as they keep getting better, I think, we can keep them around Fort Worth, we're going to be in good shape.
This team has certainly shown some improvement this year. Some of the young players and some of the veterans have played better. What do you attribute that to?
I think that we're just playing more as a team. We're playing our systems a little bit better, and forechecking other teams a little bit more, keeping the puck in their end, and taking care of our end a little better than we had in the past. So it wasn't quite running around as much, just a little bit more structure to our game, and that really can play a big part. I think you can take of some average players and beat good players if you work harder and you stick to your structure a little bit more. And by no means do we just have average players, but it definitely helps to have the structure to our game that Todd has brought to us, and he harps at the guys and gets them, I think, try to work a little bit harder than we were at the beginning of the season, and that definitely pays dividends also.
So you feel like Lalonde's system has played to the strengths of this team?
Well, I think just having a system, a good solid system, is going to help any team. I think we've shown that if we know if we're all doing it and we're all on the same page. I don't think it really matters. There's 4 or 5 systems probably that we could play that would probably help, but I don't think we were quite on the same page at the beginning of the season, and we've gotten on that, and that's just definitely helped us.
Last question for you, Rob. You're a guy that has been in the East Coast League, you've been in the United League, and you even had a stint in Fort Worth. As you decide where you're going to play, and you decided on Fort Worth this year, what factors go into that?
I think just the quality. I think the number one issue is quality organization, the quality of the city you're playing in. Being in Fort Worth before, I knew that it was a good town to play in, and a good organization. So, and then the coaching and the kind of players you're going to have playing with you.
Back next year?
I hope so.
All right, Rob Laurie, I'm Rush Olson, and we'll be back in just a moment with Mike and Bob.
frost brewed Coors Light. Nice choice.
Thanks.
Nothing like some ice cold Rocky Mountain perfection to wet your whistle.
Yeah, you sure know a lot about beer. Come here often?
I haven't missed a game yet.
Really? Whoa. Could this get any better? Wow.
You're spilling your beer.
She's a beer man.
Your beer.
Whoa.
What's in the bag, Howie?
Just some cool new stuff I got at Radio Shack. I love the changes they're making.
And you ought to know about change. You went from being a great football player to a great football commentator.
The stuff in the bag is mine, Terry.
Oh, and you know, even with all the new brands at Radio Shack, there's still the same people good at answering questions and explaining things.
Yeah.
And even though you made the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
you're still the same you.
Stuff in the bag is still mine, Terry.
Radio Shack. You've got questions. We've got answers.
I see cones. They're closing. Hand over the cones, sir. Nice and easy now. Let's have it. Look, there's a lot of people in line here who need to do their banking.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, they're just normal people like you who just don't get out of work in time to get to the bank. So come on. Their kids could go hungry, you know? Look, Regis! Ooh. Okay, people, there's nothing for you here. Let's move in an orderly fashion to the Bank United inside Kroger. They're open late, they're nice, and you won't feel like this.
You know what people are saying about you guys? That you're a bunch of vicious animals. Well, you and I know that's not true. You and I know that this is a game of skill and precision and speed and grace. So I want you to go out there tonight and show them what Fort Worth Brahmas hockey is really about. Okay, you can open the cage now.
Fort Worth Brahmas hockey. It's a kick.
Back to the Fort Worth Convention Center in Fort Worth, Texas. WPHL hockey, the Fort Worth Brahmas and the Bossier Shreveport Mudbugs. The Mudbugs lead 1-0. I'm Mike Barack, general manager of the Brahmas. With me, Bob Sturm from The Ticket. Bob, you know, they talk about prevent defenses in football. We see it in hockey tonight with the Brahmas with 10 skaters and yet only 1-0 after 20 minutes of play.
Absolutely. With 10 skaters, you want to make sure you conserve your energy. You also want to make sure you don't get into a scoring fest. So the Brahmas doing a good job here of trying to make the most of their opportunities. They did get some early. Here's Gorwich behind the net with a nice chance, but it just missed the far corner. And the Brahmas stay after it there. Then a little bit later on, Woolard, who's had a real nice game tonight, Mike, tries to cut in and tries to beat Lang with a quick shot here, but unfortunately Lang gets a pad on it, and keeps the game scoreless at the time.
And then the Brahmas give up that last unfortunate goal. Former Brahma Louis Bernard from center ice.
Yeah, like I said, this is just running out the clock, but he says, what the heck, let me put it on net to see what happens, and it goes right through Carey, and Carey obviously wants that one back with the spike of the stick right there.
They call Carey the Bear, and you know what? You go into the locker room and you're like, I can't believe it. What do you think's going through his mind right now?
Well, hopefully his concentration is still there tonight, and hopefully he's taking this as, all right, I'm going to show them in the second and third period. The rest of the team, you would believe, is probably saying, don't worry about it, we'll get it back. And that's what you try to do in a situation like that.
Bob, one final note. This, again, for you and for us, great opportunity to bring hockey to the fans in the Metroplex. Are you having fun, and what do you think about all this?
Oh, it's really neat. It's a cool atmosphere. You're nice and close to the ice, and lots of passion out there. And the Brahmas, they've got their work cut out for them. So this is a fun setting tonight.
Okay, the Brahmas trail 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. We'll have more on K-Star, Fort Worth, and Shreveport in just a moment.
Well, I've decided. Tonight's the night I'm gonna pop the question.
So did you get the ring yet?
No, I had a better idea. I wanted to get her something that says, I'm really in this for the long haul. It's a train. What? I'm making a commitment here.
They haven't seen it yet. They're bound to say something. You know them. Never at a loss for words.
The Chevy Silverado two-wheel drive half-ton regular cab V6 has more standard torque than a comparable Ford F-150 or Dodge Ram 1500. Silverado, the truck from Chevy.
Act like they've never seen a truck before.
The GMAC Smart Buy on a 2001 Silverado. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details.
You know what people are saying about you guys, that you're a bunch of vicious animals. Well, you and I know that's not true. You and I know that this is a game of skill and precision and speed and grace. So I want you to go out there tonight and show them what Fort Worth Brahmas hockey is really about. Okay, you can open the cage now.
Fort Worth Brahmas hockey. It's a kick.
Reverend Dial Tone here for 1-800-4-PHONE, the good word in prepaid phone service. Today we're here to turn this sinner into a saint. You've been using ComSals? You paid too much for phone service. You haven't called 1-800-4-PHONE. Well, then be healed, my brother, because with 1-800-4-PHONE, you get 2 hours of free long distance each month, and there's no charge for switching. Hey. You're not done yet. So call 1-800-4-PHONE today. It ain't heaven, but it's close.
1-0 Mudbugs over the Brahmas in the first intermission. I'm Charlie Hodges down with Mike Stallings of the Stallings family, and he's a major player in a program the Brahmas have called Corporate Care. It allows 8,500 youth from Fort Worth to attend a professional hockey game that normally they would not be able to attend. And Mike, it's a great program.
It is. It's in its second year, and I'm just glad to be a part of it. Our family's really enjoyed it. We've taken a personal interest in several of the charities, local charities, Wish for Wings, the American Diabetes Association, and Christ Haven. We've had a lot of fun with the kids. We've been able to bring them out here, and with the Brahmas set up with the hospitality rooms and so forth, we've been able to have a lot of fun with the kids and introduce them to hockey, and it's really just good family fun. And if it wouldn't be for the Corporate Care, a lot of these kids would never get to come to a sporting event, and we'd like to support it because it's really the only thing we have in Fort Worth.
Great opportunity for business in Fort Worth to give back to the community.
Yes, sir. You got it. I have 3 companies, and I'm glad we're able to spend a little money with the Brahmas, and I hope a lot of other companies participate next year because it's a really neat opportunity. We've had a lot of fun, and when you come out here and you see some of the kids from some of the local charities, and you see their smile on their face, especially from the orphanage, it's a lot of fun. It really is.
Okay, Mike Stallings of the Stallings family. He's involved in Corporate Care, and if you would like to have your business involved, call 817-336-4ICE. We'll be back with the second period coming up with Mike and Bob. This is Brahma Hockey.
Welcome, Miss Planet contestant.
Hey, Beer Man!
Oh, it's the last one. Ladies, tell me briefly why you deserve this frost-brewed Coors Light.
Because the silver can shines like a beacon of freedom.
Like the first Coors Light, I am pure and also born in the mountains.
Yes, you are.
I deserve the Coors Light because I said so.
We have a winner. She's the one. Well, I decided. Tonight's the night I'm going to pop the question.
So did you get the ring yet?
No, I had a better idea. I wanted to get her something that says, I'm really in this for the long haul. It's a train. What? I'm making a commitment here.
What's in the bag, Howie?
Just some cool new stuff I got at Radio Shack. I love the changes they're making.
And you ought to know about change. You went from being a great football player to a great football commentator.
The stuff in the bag is mine, Terry.
Oh, and you know, even with all the new brands at Radio Shack, there's still the same people good at answering questions and explaining things.
Yeah.
And even though you made the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
you're still the same you.
Stuff in the bag is still mine, Terry.
Radio Shack. You've got questions. We've got answers.
I see cones. They're closing. Hand over the cone, sir. Nice and easy now. Let's have it. Look, there's a lot of people in line here who need to do their banking.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, they're just normal people like you who just don't get out of work in time to get to the bank. So come on. Their kids could go hungry, you know? Look, Regis! Ooh. Okay, people, there's nothing for you here. Let's move in an orderly fashion to the Bank United inside Kroger. They're open late, they're nice, and you won't feel like this.
Back to the convention center in Fort Worth, Texas, the Shreveport Mudbugs, the Bossier Shreveport Mudbugs leading 1-0 over the Fort Worth Brahmas. This televised game broadcast is brought to you by Chevrolet. If only everything was as dependable as a Chevy, Chevy will be there. You know, you talk about hockey in the United States, the Southern movement. But Bob Sturm, as you look at the state of Texas and the Brahmas logo, there are more pro hockey teams in Texas than any other state in the nation. Everybody knows the Dallas Stars,
right?
But who believes there's 8 teams in the WPHL, a team in San Antonio, a team in Houston, 11 in this state.
Yeah, and when I first came down here, a lot of people back home would say, boy, do they really understand hockey down in Texas? And I'm always amazed, whether it's on radio or TV. I think the people in Texas have grown to love hockey and understand the game very well. I think there's a lot of misconceptions about how well hockey has taken in Texas, but I think the people here know that it's a great sport, and they know it as well as anybody.
And I bet you Texans don't know that there are 6 teams in Louisiana. I mean, here you have the Bossier Shreveport Mudbugs, but the Baton Rouge Kingfish, the New Orleans Brass, the Louisiana Ice Gators, and of course Monroe and Lake Charles, the Ice Pirates and the Moccasins in this league.
Right.
17 teams between Texas and Louisiana, and there's only one pro hockey team in Minnesota, the Wild, and no teams in Wisconsin.
Right.
You're home.
Yes, that's absolutely true. Now, one other thing we don't have in Wisconsin, where I'm from, is mudbugs. I'm still not familiar with what exactly a mudbug is.
I guess it's a crawfish. I mean, do they eat those in Shreveport?
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, you know, I've always enjoyed crawfish.
Well, we'll get you over there, and you can get a taste. Louis Bernard, unassisted, the only goal at 1957. And that from center ice, shots on goal 11-6 in our Radio Shack scoring summary. And that goal is one the Brahmas would like to have back.
Yeah, and there's 2 things that can happen here, Mike, that can either A, demoralize a team, or B, they can rally to say, you know what, we're not going to let something like that beat us. So we will have to see which road the Brahmas head down now. Like I said, they could be completely demoralized, or they could use that as saying, all right, let's get back at this thing. Let's not allow the second period to be like the first one ended.
Back to action, here we go. In the second period, 1-0 in favor of the Mudbugs. They clear it right back up into the stands with a total of 10 seconds gone second period. 1-0 in favor of the Shreveport hockey team. And then the Brahmas, of course, will want to shake off that last goal. And for Mr. Musket, the head coach of the Mudbugs, he wants to get his team a little breathing room.
Well, he still looks like a hockey player, doesn't he? He played last season. You know, that's something that Shreveport's been very successful with. Not only have they won championships, but they've kept the core of their team together. And year after year, they bring back the same guys, and I think that really helps them.
Here's a play on the left of the goal to the corner and a stop. It looks like a tripping penalty early on with 21 seconds gone into the period, I think, against Fort Worth, and this is not what the Brahmas want to start this game, or start the second period, excuse me. We're going to take a look at just a moment on our out-of-town scoreboard, but let's take a look at this penalty to the left of the goal.
Yeah, Villeneuve working in there and kind of in a wrestling match and ends up with a tripping minor. Villeneuve, of course, a very exciting evening last night, to say the least, out here at the Fort Worth Convention Center. But he'll go serve 2 minutes at just 21 seconds into the second period.
Involved in a major altercation through the gloves, got tossed from the game, and
wish I was here to see that.
Guys, so some fireworks last night. The penalty, Villeneuve for tripping at 21 seconds, power play for Shreveport here in period number 2. And the Brahmas just pick an opening and clear it down.
And that's one of the things with a penalty kill is you get the puck in your own end. Don't look around for someone to pass it to. Just send it down the ice, and sometimes you even change your penalty killers.
Here's a lead pass across the line. Mudbugs take control. They work it Friel on the far boards. Shreveport on the power play in this one-up game. They clear it to the top of the circle, now to the right wing point. They dump it free in the slot for McPherson, and taking it the Fort Worth defense and clear it all the way down. And again, that's all they want to do. Take the puck, dump it 200 feet down the ice, and stand back. They got 4 guys lined up at the blue line.
Yeah, no ridiculous forecheck tonight for the Brahmas. Just sit back.
At least they actually didn't send one player, Bob, on that last rush. They let the Mudbugs go all the way back. Not one player checking at center ice. Then they just stood up, and that's when they took their net.
Now, of course, that works nicely if it's done occasionally. What you don't want to do is take too many penalties tonight, or if you do, take somebody with you to the penalty box, because if you're down in manpower, eventually that will take its toll when you have a short bench.
Ty Lalonde, dapper, in that he's got his purple Brahmas shirt tonight, very well pressed, and he is one of the well-dressed coaches in the Western Professional Hockey League.
That's a big part of coaching these days.
And he forces his players to dress well. No long hair, kind of like the Marge Schott with the no facial hair in Cincinnati.
No hockey hair, huh?
Here are the Mudbugs controlling the play. They try and clear it along the boards on this power play. Sprott at the right point, cutting in. Plays to the side of the goal in front. To save by Carey, holds on as the player DeGurst to the left of the goal let go a little wrist shot, and Carey was able to hug that post and holds on. DeGurst frustrated with himself into the forward zone, and we'll take another look at the Shreveport scoring power opportunity.
Yeah, their power play is all about trying to get some traffic in front of the net and then whacking at it until it goes over the goal line. That particular play was cleared out from the mouth of the goal, but you can see they move players right towards the mouth of the goal and then try to get lots of rubber at the goaltender and hopefully pass the goaltender. But fortunately for the Brahmas, they cleared it up to the corner and got a face-off.
And great game so far for Jason Carey. His last victory, February 18th, 4-1 in Lake Charles, was pulled Wednesday night, but has played well other than that one goal here late in the first period. Here's McPherson, plays out of the goal again, and the save made. Rupp now to the left of the net, and Carey got a piece.
Pretty much the exact same play that they just ran prior to that, and once again it almost worked, but just not over past the post.
You talk about strategy in hockey, and there is strategy, particularly on the power play.
Oh yes, there certainly is. In fact, I think Shreveport runs an umbrella power play that you don't see that much in hockey anymore, as opposed with two guys at the point, just one in the middle of the point.
Here's Johnson and Cardwell. Johnson shoots, caught by the goaltender Lang. It was a 2-on-1. You have the good scorer Cardwell to the right, but he was well taken by Sprott, so he went for the 1-on-1 against the goaltender, and Lang able to get that glove on it and holds on. Faceoff will be circled to the right of the goal. Great penalty killing. Just 2 seconds left in the Villeneuve penalty. And the faceoff will come up deep into the Fort Worth zone. And as mentioned, a great penalty killing, and now get an opportunity in the offensive zone late in this man advantage opportunity. Brahmas sent out Dowie with Zacharias and Payne. Up front for Fort Worth. That's it in the penalty. Villeneuve is back on. Brahmas kill it off. Loose puck for Dowie. Center, Zacharias couldn't get the shot off as he was too well checked. Now Dowie back of the goal, squeezed off the puck, and the Mudbugs take control. They work it free to center ice, and Sprott able to just clear it right back in. It ricochets off the backboards. It's cleared away on the right wing side. Dowie gains possession, 3-on-1 for Fort Worth. Dowie down the right wing side, in for Payne, and the pass off the mark. Man alive. And the Mudbugs break back the other way. Buchanan poke check at the blue line and cleared right back in.
Golden opportunity for the Brahmas there. Just could not handle the pass.
And the Brahmas just poke it out to center ice, and Payne couldn't catch the pass and cleared by the Mudbugs into the Fort Worth zone. Here's DeGurst, flips it free to the left of the goal. McPherson centers, DeGurst in the slot, wide open, shoots. That's blocked by the Brahmas defense and cleared outside the blue line into center ice. And the Mudbugs just cleared right back in. Carey leaves it for zone defense. Villeneuve pokes it on the boards, taken by the Mudbugs. Quick wrist shot, caught by Carey, and he holds on. Rep now their leading scorer, but Carey able to make the stop. The Chevy Out of Town scoreboard brought to you by Chevrolet. If everything was as dependable as a Chevy, Chevy will be there. Monroe leading Corpus Christi 1-0 in the second period. The Ice Bats leading the Buzzards 1-0 in El Paso. The Lubbock Cotton Kings trailing the Amarillo Rattlers 2-1. Brahmas taking on Amarillo tomorrow afternoon. Tupelo and New Mexico in a scoreless game. Odessa, the Jackalopes leading the San Angelo Outlaws 2-0 out west. And man, it got them all in.
Remember when it was just like the Bears and Lions were nicknames? Now, in this league, they go the full distance with nicknames.
The Jackalopes, the Ice Rays, the Ice Pirates. They add that ice on it just to distinguish itself
right.
that it's hockey down south.
Absolutely.
Here's a play now in front of the goal. Chance for Pollock. Blocked to the left of the goal. Brahmas trying to work it free. Mudbugs in the slot. Control. A chance. Carey the save on Rupnow on the backhand. No rebound as Rupnow allowed a motor in front, but Carey says no.
Boy, real pretty move there by Rupnow as he uses that speed, gets around the corner, gets a nice backhander off, but right into the center of Carey. That makes it a little easier. Those backhanders are tough to read for the goaltender, but in that particular case, put it right at the goaltender. That makes it real easy to read.
You know, you mentioned the tough backhand. You don't see that in hockey very much anymore. It's a lost art along with the hip check. Two great things that we saw in the 60s and 70s in hockey, but the backhander is not used as much anymore.
No, it's tough to master, but those guys who have the backhander, I know across town, Joey Neuendijk has made a living off of it. It certainly helps.
And another quick shot from the point and held on by the goaltender Carey, but you don't see it as much in the game along with hip check. So you'll see it, but you know, they'll rather go to their forehand or take that one-timer than go to the backhand because, as you mentioned, it's a little bit more difficult in terms of being able to master.
Yeah, and one of the reasons is you don't always know where it's going. Now, once you get to the professional level, most of the guys have a pretty good idea, but you know, the wrist shot, you can usually tell exactly where you're going to put the puck, but the backhander's a little tougher to control as a shooter.
Of course, the Brahmas and the professional ranks of the WPHL and the NHL cross town here in the Metroplex. Play down the left wing side. It's cleared across deep into the Fort Worth territory. And the goaltender himself, Carey, plays on left wing, and Rusk just swings it to center. And again, the Brahmas just playing it outside the line into the neutral zone. And finally, it's taken on the right wing boards. Woolard can't sidestep a check. And finally, it's taken by Wildfong into center ice. 62 points for the Mudbugs last year, but Woolard steals. In across the Shreveport line. Around the defense. Now tries to center one, but blocked off by Wildfong. Headman's outside the blue line, out of the reach of a streaking forward on left wing Dale Henry. And the Brahmas swipe it up into the stands, and it stops the play. It is 1-0 Mudbugs. We'll take a break. You're watching Brahmas hockey on K-Star.
You know what people are saying about you guys? That you're a bunch of vicious animals. Well, you and I know that's not true. You and I know that this is a game of skill and precision and speed and grace. So I want you to go out there tonight and show them what Fort Worth Brahmas hockey is really about. Okay, you can open the cage now.
Fort Worth Brahmas hockey. It's a kick.
The sleek 200 horsepower Chevy Monte Carlo SS. Green. The side you show the world is up to you.
Back in Fort Worth, Brahmas and Mudbugs. Radio Shack, proud to sponsor the Brahmas. When you want to see the latest in home products, be sure to visit your local neighborhood Radio Shack team. They have a great starting lineup of Compact, Microsoft, Sprint, RCA, Verizon Wireless. All of those, they'll show you the latest technology. Take the time to answer the questions you have. Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers. Back to action, Barack and Bob Sturm from the Convention Center in Fort Worth, Texas. It's Brahmas hockey against the Mudbugs. And the Shreveport team gained possession up to center ice. They try and work it free for DeGurse again. Loose in front, Dowie able to play goaltender and steals it away and able to knock it out of harm's way. And the Brahmas take control, so the Brahmas got some help on that one.
Close call there. Carey went out to cut out the angle, and it kind of squirmed by him and was sitting right there on the goal line.
Carey's been terrific tonight. Only a 1-0 game, the Brahmas trail. And up the left wing side, Tony Bergen, the former Cornell player of college hockey, able to work it right back and wound right back into Fort Worth territory, where Johnson slides it on left wing for Payne. Here's Payne for Fort Worth. Out of York University in the Canadian college ranks, winds it back of the net. Pollock now played for 4 teams in the WPHL last year, slides it all the way down. This should be an icing against the Mudbugs. Rusk after icing is the call, so the face-off will come all the way back, and let's take a look at that scoring opportunity for Shreveport.
Yeah, once again, Carey comes out to cut down the angle, but it hits his glove, and Dowie, very alert there to get the puck out of harm's way, because obviously the Mudbugs were licking their chops at a puck sitting on the goal line.
Kerry looked like he was playing Twister as he was down to the ice in the goal crease area, but Dowie saved the day and cleared it out of the Brahmas goal crease area, and you gotta love that.
Yeah, you absolutely do. It's usually productive to go cut down the angle, but you always run the risk of, if you don't stop the puck, you got big problems being out of your goal net.
Hope you're enjoying the action. Brahmas in action tomorrow afternoon against the Amarillo Rattlers, 3 o'clock here at the Convention Center. Tickets available at all Albertsons locations. Brahmas trying to work it free to the left of the goal. Woolard centers in front. Back to the point. It goes. Russ shoots, and it just deflects over top of the net. Woolard being held up. Drops it left wing point. Villeneuve turns. Slap shot. Stick save by Lang, and deflects it up into the corner. Brahmas getting some offensive opportunities. Lang uses that stick to deflect it high. Dan Villeneuve with the shot from the point.
Yeah, it's good to see some pressure from the Brahmas offense. That had been kind of absent here in the first several minutes of the second period. It's very important that they keep the pressure on Shreveport, because if Shreveport gets the next goal, then you almost have to come out of your system, and you almost have to get more aggressive to try to tie it up, and then being short of players, that might cost you.
You asked me about a Mudbug earlier. We took a look at the mask of Chad Lang, detailed Mudbug. Maybe we'll look at that later on as this game progresses, but you can take a look at what that Mudbug fans actually retrieve. There it is.
There we go.
They throw little crawdads, plastic ones, on the ice after they score goals there, and they allow that in the WPHL. It takes them a little while to clean it up, but on every goal they throw out plastic Mudbugs in Shreveport. Here's Woolard. Go ahead.
I'm sure the maintenance guys love that.
Yeah, they threw out the kids on the ice to clean it up real quick. Here's play to the near side. Woolard now plays it back of the goal. 9 times the Brahmas had to face that in their game in January. Here's Cardwell in the slot. Shoots, head save. Lang rebound. 2 players on the doorstep, and the goaltender Lang able to fall on top. Cardwell with the best opportunity, and Woolard also in the direct scoring area.
This is the line that's been doing it for the Brahmas tonight, of course. There's only 2 lines to choose from, but Cardwell, Gorwich, and Woolard have just been great tonight. There's Cardwell again. The goals from where you normally get goals, in that premium slot area. You get your body in there, and you scrap for loose pucks, and when they get on your stick, you get rid of them quickly. And in that particular case, Lang makes the save and keeps the Brahmas with a 0 on their side of the scoreboard.
And he's no stranger to shutouts. He's the all-time career leader in shutouts with 8 in the history of the Western Professional Hockey League. So this is a guy that's known as Mr. Zero in the WPHL. Here's McPherson now for the Mudbugs. Tries to work it through the slot. Nobody home. And then 20-year veteran Henry tries to make a play. It's cleared on the boards on the right wing. Actually, Rupnow now gains possession. Flips it for McPherson. Along the near boards. Forward McPherson. On that championship team 2 years ago. They cleared on the right wing side. Chance for Payne. His shot off the backboards. Lost his stick. Gets another piece of lumber. And Wildfong for the Mudbugs. Leaves it for McPherson. And he backhands it free. 12:29 left second period. 1-0. Only 1 goal, Bob, so far.
Yeah, shot from the point. Pretty good chance for the Brahmas, but when your stick breaks in half, it takes a little off the velocity for sure.
No doubt. Got to have that blade to be able to get a shot on goal. Here's Dowie on the right wing side for Payne, and all he does is clear it outside the blue line and deep into Mudbug territory. The Brahmas changing the fly again. What else is new? Here's Sprott in, shoots. Carey gets a piece of that, sprawling in that goal crease, but no goal. Here's Sprott, bangs it off the backboards, gains possession for the Mudbugs in the slot, turns, shoots it wide by a whisker. Penalty coming up against Fort Worth, I believe, and the referee on the near side, Chris Brown, I think going to call a slash against the Brahmas. It is 1-0 Mudbugs on K-Star.
You want to take a break?
Yeah, I'm burning up.
So, are you having as good a time as I am? Oh, do you want to go somewhere more quiet? Don't you find me attractive?
Coors Light, frost brewed at the edge of freezing. Did you say something?
Well, I've decided. Tonight's the night I'm gonna pop the question.
So did you get the ring yet?
No, I had a better idea. I wanted to get her something that says, I'm really in this for the long haul. It's a train. What? I'm making a commitment here.
Power play upcoming here in Fort Worth. The Brahmas and the Mudbugs, 1-0 Shreveport. That a late first period goal, and face-off will be to the right of the Fort Worth territory. Mudbugs on their third power play. They're 0 for 2 so far, so the Brahmas now down to 9 skaters with the man in the box.
Yeah, Chad Woolard has had a chance to get on the score sheet tonight a couple times with goals, but he got on the score sheet with a penalty right there with a slash.
So Shreveport, with that man advantage opportunity, they are, again, as we mentioned earlier, one advantage for Fort Worth. They're last in the league in man advantage goals. Here's play on the far side. Bernard dumps it into the corner. Now they work it for Sprott with Henry in front. Sprott shot blocked to the defense. He can't find the handle of it. Loose to the left of the goal. Nobody home. Here's Dave Gilmore, former Corpus Christi Ice Ray, for Dale Henry, dishing it off to the side of the goal. Gilmore centers for Henry. Sprott is there too, and the Brahmas clear it into the Shreveport players bench, and they've killed off the first 31 seconds of this power play opportunity.
What a dangerous place to be tonight. I think that's at least the third puck that's gone into the Shreveport bench. Someone's going to get hurt over there. Keep those helmets on the bench.
You see, they got enough players to protect themselves over there. They're all right as long as they protect the coach. They got the equipment on. No problem there. You just don't want it on a line drive into that lower deck here at the Fort Worth Convention Center. This building seats 11,000 plus here in this building, the second largest facility in the WPHL. The final 2 games for the Brahmas this year will be at Will Rogers Coliseum, which seats just 6,000. That's where they hold the stock show, the rodeo, and that's where the Brahmas will finish off the 21st of March and the 23rd. Dale Henry, 6 years in the NHL, assists on Pat LaFontaine's goal, 1987, in the 4th longest NHL game, the Islanders and the Capitals.
I watched that game at the Cap Center in Washington, D.C. Very, very entertaining night at the office, and one that Patty LaFontaine, a good American skater, ended the game.
And Dale Henry, who's now for the Mudbugs, assisted on that famous goal. I believe it was Kelly Rudy and Bob Mason.
I believe you are correct.
Those were the 2 goaltenders that night. Here's played at center ice. The Mudbugs cleared right back into the forward zone. Brahmas Johnson can't clear it out. And here's the man we talked about, Henry. Plays it free along the near side. McPherson for Shreveport in the slot. Now waits to the top of the circle as they try and set up. Brahmas keeping them on the perimeter. McPherson, side of the goal. In front, Wildfong. Wide of the goal. Wildfong centers to Henry. Tripped down, no call. Tilson tries to jam it loose. Mudbugs control late on this power play, but Johnson picks an opening and clears it down.
And the Brahmas penalty kill is packing it in. That's allowing a lot of skating room for the Mudbugs, but so far it has not bit the Brahmas. But with packing in and a lot of ice in that offensive zone for the Mudbugs to work.
Loose in front, Brahmas clear it off the glass and down. They're doing a beautiful job of using the sideboards and the glass to get out of their own territory. And the Mudbugs again with Henry, 6 seconds to go. Henry now works to center ice. 20 years as a pro. Left wing side pass in front to Gerst. That's it. Brahmas kill it off. Cardwell tries to jam it free. Mudbugs play to the side of the goal. Here's the forward to Gerst. Check. Brahmas keep it again on the perimeter. Mad scramble. 4 players battling hard. 5 and 6 players now, all along the near boards. Fans trying to jam the glass. Loose in front and cleared by Fort Worth outside the line.
Nice glove save there by Carey as Brahmas needed a change there at the end of that penalty kill. Now they're back set to action here. As,
to their whole 10 skaters. Icing, as they call on the face-off, will come all the way back. You know, when you're even strength, you think, okay, now we got our 16 skaters. But again, it's mentioned for the fans just tuning in, 6 scratches for Fort Worth, 2 late injuries last night. Brahmas having some players already hurt. So Todd Lalonde is doing a masterful job behind the bench with his 10 skaters and 6 forwards and 4D, and doing what it takes.
Yeah, very spacious Brahmas bench tonight.
Face-off will be to the left of the goal. Todd Lalonde, as mentioned, has had terrific success in the WPHL 2 years ago. 40 victories for Central Texas. He's Coach of the Year, and his team again this season, the Central Texas Stampede going out, and the Brahmas gaining his services in early January as Mark Zacharias gets a new piece of lumber.
Yeah, and you can see the Brahmas adapting his style of play. In their last 9, they're 5-4. So despite the fact it's been a subpar year for the Brahmas, they're coming on as of late, which makes everybody optimistic about what next year might have for this team too.
Todd Lalonde loves it so far here in Fort Worth. He's 5-5-1 in the 11 games at home. The fans have enjoyed some success with Lalonde behind the bench here in Fort Worth. Here's Dowie now, in across the line. Formerly of the West Coast Hockey League, joining the team here midway through the season. Mudbugs control back of the goal. Brahmas in a forecheck. A rarity tonight with Payne and the forward Dowie. Dowie in front, save, rebound, and he holds on. I think the Brahmas surprised Lang and the defense because they've not forechecked all night long.
That's an excellent point, and they get a couple guys in the zone, cause a turnover, and then Dowie puts it right on net and cut it off and then put a slap shot right on net. There was a rebound there for the taking. Dowie gets in there and gets a stick on it, but finally it is covered up by the goaltender Lang, who is the 4th rated goaltender scoring-wise, or goals against-wise in the WPHL.
The number 1 is Ken Carroll, who's their other goaltender. 3 shutouts this season. We mentioned 8 overall in his career. That's the 3rd in the WPHL. In his professional career, 16, and Ken Carroll, possible Rookie of the Year in the WPHL, and he's sitting on the bench tonight. So they've got a great twosome in Shreveport with the Mudbugs.
And a great philosophy where it starts with your forwards back checking, then your defensemen clear people out of the mouth of the goal, and then the goaltender's job is easier.
Yeah, no doubt. But as everybody knows, you got to start in goal, and they've done that with the Mudbugs. Last year it was Hugo Hamelin. This year it's Lang and Carroll. Puck loose in the center ice. Brahmas trying to work it free. Gorwich tries to poke it free. Woolard now for Fort Worth. Right side Cardwell, and he just chops it right back in. Again, the Brahmas just standing back. They have 5 players, 2 inside the blue line, the rest at center ice back. And a clearing pass into the forward zone. Rusk, one of those 3 players, gains possession for the Brahmas, looks to clear, and now rushing himself. Lost possession, however. Great Wildfong in, dumps it in front. Carey the save, rebound. He stops the second man too. I believe Wildfong. 2 superb stops by Carey. And they cleared right back in. Rusk lost the handle of it and allowing the Mudbugs to work in, but Carey has been outstanding.
Well, and I'm sure Rusk's life flashed before him there because you don't want a turnover that turns into a 3-on-1.
But Carey said no. Brahmas break back. Now they have a 3-on-2 if they hurry.